Oh wait, I am muted. Yo, what's up guys? Welcome to the Solo CHOC Cup event. I just want to apologize for the technical difficulties. We will be back as soon as we sort it out with the gameplay. Our host had to transfer, so yeah, I hope you guys are seated for the action that is yet to come. We'll see you guys in just a bit. Yo, talk about the tournament, guys, welcome to the Solo CHOC Cup event hosted by Elite Pro Series, brought to you by Punishers, a charity tournament that is going into play. How does this work exactly is explained over here. The prize pool is going to be 4,000 Rand. However, 1,000 Rand will go to the players, and then 1,000 Rand will go to CHOC. Second place will get 700, and 700 will go to CHOC. Third will go to 300 to the player and 300 to CHOC. CHOC is a children cancer foundation in South Africa, childhood cancer foundation in South Africa that really supports, you know, the awareness around cancer and the support around cancer. So if you guys want to donate, there's a link in the description. And I do really apologize for the hiccup that we've had in terms of the entire schedule. We were supposed to start game 1 at 7 minutes ago at 6:10. However, there will be 4 games that these competitive players will be competing for a chance at the gameplay over here. So if you guys are joining in, don't even worry about it. You guys are going to get all the action in, and it's going to be awesome, awesome, awesome. So yeah, let's see exactly what happens and how things really roll out. The game is going to be starting anytime soon, and I hope you guys are ready for what fun-packed action we have in line for you guys, because I'm sorry for keeping you guys waiting for so long as well. It's finally starting, however, and we've got a couple players here today, guys. We've got Reepsy here, we've got Rejects, we've got Neymar. We had Gloves, unfortunately he had load shedding, but we have Adrian, we have so many competitors, Knight, all of them screen sharing and showing their POV. So if you guys could get yourself strapped into the seat, hopefully Escom won't be ruining the experience for you guys, and you guys don't get disconnected from the show. But the show must continue, and I can tell you these 4 games are going to definitely bring in a lot of the hype. And talking about hype, I think we're almost in for the tournament over here. So let's see exactly what's happening and how things are looking like for these guys right here. So we're going to go in over there and see the tournament. But I hope you guys are all doing great. I hope you guys are all doing fantastic. We got Les6 over here, guys, who's going into the tournament game number 1. Let's see exactly how things are looking like for him. And talking about game number 1, guys, please understand that this is not necessarily the overlay. We're going to change that for you guys in just a bit or two. We do have a technical difficulty in terms of getting the input or the NDI up, and I'm going to sort that out for you guys right now, so don't even worry about that too much. Do apologize for the technical difficulties you guys are hearing on screen, but I'm excited that we are finally launching into game number 1, guys. We've got so many competitors here who are going to be qualified or playing in the 4 games that we have. No qualifiers had gone into play for this one, but it was a intense sort of registration. So if you guys made it all the way into the registration, that is great, and you guys have, you know, done the hard part of getting to know a lot more on EPS. So yeah, game number 1, let's see exactly what happens right here and how things sort of play out for us. Hearing that audio again. There we go, sorry for that. So Lessix here, just outside Logjam. He does look to be comfortable with the sort of situation he finds himself in. Loadout looking pretty decent. And we have a whole lot of new POIs that have joined in right here. So the Convent has well been one of the most broken POIs introducing to Fortnite. If you guys land there, you'd know exactly what I'm talking about. Guaranteed 2 launch pads off spawn, guaranteed 500 gold off spawn, as well as a guaranteed mythic SMG. The SMGs have already been so broken in the past, but now we are here with the competitive play. And they have a mythic weapon called the Stingers. So that's going to be showing us some sauciness on exactly how things work out over there. But I do want to see somebody in endgame, hopefully one of the competitors we have here today, go crazy on height and absolutely beam the players on low ground. So that's potentially what we're going to be seeing going into the end games right over there. But 70 players remain. That means 17 of these competitors have been eliminated off spawn already. So going over to the other competitors that we have in and around the map, we're going to be looking at Adrian as well, a very much competitive player that is here today, guys, to show you a lot of the action we have on board for you guys. So let's see. Let's see exactly what he's capable of doing. He's been showing some promising as an underdog in the tournament. However, depending on how today goes, he may potentially just change that name, change that title that he has around him, surrounding himself, the underdog, the underrated. So Adrian has been competing quite actively for some time now, but he hasn't really found his foot yet in the competitive field or even environment. He's had a couple opportunities, winning a semi-finals if I'm not mistaken as well, coming first in the semi-finals in a Punishers duel tournament. However, it wasn't a pleasing placement coming out for him in finals, where him and his teammate just did not show up to the party. Hopefully he gets to redeem himself here in a solo tournament. Says to me earlier in the chat we had that he's been practicing, he's been showing himself a lot more of the game playing knowledge to himself. And hopefully we do get to see that here in the solo tournament. You can tell he's definitely got his loadout locked and loaded, where in terms of going to the areas around and just getting in a metal from the garages and so forth. So we all know that Season 3 doesn't have that much metal in and around the map. So literally you need to strive and get hungry for as much metal as possible, even if it means a single pole with 1,200 gives you only 14 mats of metal. You need to farm as much as you can, because endgame, especially in solos, you need all the materials going into the endgame. We know that the spider gloves have been nerfed significantly. I'm not even sure if it's still in the competitive playlist as it stands right now, but when it comes to rotating, we need, you know, a launch pad or peppers in the solo rotation, because that's where it's very much crucial in terms of how we rotate, going from one moving zone to the next. And hopefully we get to see players like Neymar, like Rejects, utilize these mobilities and move around the vicinity in a perfect way that we get to see. Already we see Reapsy with a loadout that is saucy. I mean, Purple MK as well has the newly introduced, I say newly reintroduced, attack shotgun. These have been absolutely broken. They need a nerf immediately. Aviva gets himself elimination in the kill feed, so that's going to be really successful. We're down to 58 players. Game number 1 is no joke for these guys who are finding themselves in an off-spawn situation. Hopefully they don't get too eliminated, as we do need, you know, that packed action going into endgame. That's really going to bring the source for us. That's really going to turn things around in terms of how the moving zones really look like. So right now, over here, guys, we have Paul. Paul as well has found himself competing from time to time, and he's here in the end game to do a bit of himself. Here in the game 1 to do himself a bit of action. So let's see whether or not we get to see that coming out from him and how things really turn out for Paul. Paul, as well, you know, kind of new to the competitive scene, has been playing the past couple of tournaments. Definitely an underdog in the scene, but I say that, and then we look at his kill points, and he's already sitting on 3 eliminations of spawn. So Paul definitely coming in with a lot of aggression, and maybe even more so RNG being on his side over here when it comes down to competing. Players already getting boxed up very, very early. Let's see exactly what that looks like for them when it comes to rotating. You can see Paul being focused quite a bit, but I think it's going to be safe in terms of how he rotates out over there. Many favorites. We do have rejects on screen for us over here. Loadout not looking too sexy, however, it does have himself a green tack as also a blue MK, and needing to rotate into the zone not too far off, and it being, I think, the first moving zone. He's found himself with 2 eliminations of spawn, which is going to be great for him going into middle and end game scenarios, because this is Rejects. Rejects has been a phenomenal competitor for the Fortnite South African scene, actually representing Goliath Gaming, a phenomenal organization in South Africa, and they have been doing well. I say they Fortnite roster consisting of Rejects and Travis. So right here, what's the potential lookout here for Rejects? He potentially sees somebody out here, gonna get a third-party shot in, only deals damage of 20, but still in zone, and zone pulled quite significantly far. If he does get zone held over here, he may find himself in a bit of a stinky pickle, I may say myself. Quite a pool of zone coming out from zone 2 all the way past Sleepy Sound, and it does look like those mythic, those spider gloves are in the competitive playlist. And I mentioned they got a nerf. They only have 20 slings that you can utilize, so third parties are moving around the map quite crazily. Needs to be strategized in terms of how much slings you do have in your spider glove right over there. So yeah, another competitor we have, Nemo, guys, who is a competitive player for Bravado Gaming. Most of you guys already know this. Just look at his loadout. Launchpad as well has 12, 15 chug splashes. He's got himself 3 chili chugs in there, so that is going to definitely help him out quite a bit. And then on top of everything, he's got himself the launchpad in the back pocket as well to rotate. Matt's looking very, very good over there. 500, 500, 500, already boxed up as well, so he can find himself staying in zone for quite a bit until it's needed for him to move into the next part over there. So right now as it stands, very juicy stuff coming out from him. Extinct on the rotation over here. Still 0 eliminations, not really finding himself in a pickle, which is great to see. And let's just see exactly how much more he can stay alive over here. Gonna be using the launch pad to get into zone. They've definitely been a couple players with some mobility. I'm seeing a lot of these players with launch pads already and using those launch pads to rotate. So, I mean, some of these guys are going to be quite happy going into moving zones, and that's essentially when you want to be using these moving zones right here. 52 players remaining. We see Troy XR getting elimination in the kill feed onto an anonymous player, and I wonder who could that have been. Go over back to Adrian to see how things are looking like for him. Still on 0 eliminations, just about to get into zone, and he's chilling in a good position. He's got his MK ready, takes an amazing shot, cracks the player, but he's now also being targeted in a sense of a third party, but he needs to box up and use those utilities right now. So we're definitely going to be seeing him back to 171 HP, but he's managed to crack the opponent who was in the vehicle. Could he potentially now make that move to go and doubly key into the box? We're going to have to wait and see. He's going to use that medkit as well. 1 minute and 10 seconds until he makes the decision on whether he wants to doubly key this or disengage from the fight. We'll see how things work out here for Adrian. We'll stick on board with him just to make sure he rotates successfully into the next zone. Nice tags, just about to get in, and a really relative good position for Adrian over here. Let's go over to Lessix and see how things are playing out for him right now as it stands. Lessix in a good position, mat count looking decent as well, spider gloves as well in the pocket over there. So he's definitely going to be quite happy on terms of how rotation will be looking like for him right now. "50 players, by the way, about to get into 4th zone over here. So these players definitely competing at that chance of winning themselves that prize pool. Things are going to be looking quite saucy in terms of that rotation, and I'm here for it. If you guys are here for it, let us know in the comment section right now. Who do you guys think is going to win game number 1? I want to see who do you guys support. I want to see where do you guys come from as well in terms of South Africa. How have you found this tournament? Let us know all about that. We want to get to know you guys, so make sure to comment in the comment section. Subscribe to the Punishers YouTube channel as well, as this is not a one-time thing. Punishers is a organization in South Africa, but they advocately support the community through hosting tournaments and so forth, and they have a power Fortnite roster as well in terms of them being in the Fortnite community as well as the FIFA and Valorant scene. So if you guys are interested in getting to know Punishers, make sure to subscribe, turn on those post notifications, as we do stream quite regularly on the tournaments as well as upload frequently. So we'd love to hear from you guys. Where do you come from? Who are you rooting for? And have you registered for this tournament? If you haven't and you want to learn more about Elite Pro Series and what we do for the Fortnite community, make sure to go to eliteproseries.co.za. But more so, guys, make sure you're giving back to charity. Make sure you guys are supporting the CHOC Foundation, where they support the children in South Africa. You guys want to go to the description, donate 10 Rand, 5 Rand, whatever you guys are comfortable with. That's essentially what we are doing, raising awareness for CHOC Foundation so that we can give back, so that you guys can give back in a sense as well. So back to the gameplay, we see Lex just having himself a fun time in a box over there, but some of these guys are going to have a pickle to rotate. We already see one of them being extinct right here, guys. He's left on the purple zone right here, needing to pull a max zone. And as it stands right now, he's got 6 seconds to stop making that decision on when he's going to decide to rotate. Vapor gets an elimination onto Volex, which is amazing to see. There goes the launch pad play. And it does look like he's happily going to be into the next zone right now. Reject still alive. Sitting on 2 eliminations. Scott only 27 ammo in his inventory. So let's see exactly what that means for him. You can definitely snipe. If you haven't noticed the major buff in the TAC shotguns, you will know now. So right there, player pulled max. Go over to Neymar to see how things are looking like for him. Neymar happily chilling. Still got max rotation in play as well. He does need to pull a max rotate for himself. So 39 players in between him and his next destination. Let's see exactly how this plays out for the individual right over here. Just to be careful on how he chooses to fight right now. Very early to die, and you don't want to choose to die right now. So 39 players is a lot. Uses the launch pad for the 50-50 rotation, and I can tell why he needed to do that. This was a full max pull for him, and it would have been a hectic one using chili chugs and so forth. So first moving zones, he can be happily use those chili chugs to rotate to get comfortably into the next zone. Let's see how things are looking like for Extinct right now. We do apologize for how things are being used and how rotation of players is being informed, but this is essentially how we've always used it in terms of Discord. Definitely wants to get up in the face of he knows that TAC is going to be doing some damage, so Extinct is taking full advantage of his loadout right now. Go over to Prizepool to see how things are looking like for him. We saw him with 3 eliminations of spawn. He's still on 3 eliminations as it stands right now, which is really good to see coming out from Paul right now. He is alive as well, so carrying those eliminations into the moving zones right now, and then maybe picking up 1 or 2 kills is definitely gonna up his points right there. Ooh, and Rejects gets tagged up quite a bit. Not Rejects, Reapsy gets tagged up quite a bit on first moving. He does have the launch pad to utilize for himself right now. Takes it extremely early because he was on the back pocket of the zone right there, or the back line of the zone right there, so he needed to rotate very early. Mat count not looking too great as it stands right now. Only 90 hard mats for him to use to rotate with. And we know how crucial boxing up and rotating is, but oh, it doesn't even matter. He's picking up kills. What an absolute beam coming up from him. Hits for 50, 75. And now Reapsy just waiting to criminally eliminate the next victim over there. And I say criminally because that was illegal coming out from Reapsy. What an absolute beam. Right now 21 players remain, and we've had our first elimination in moving zone coming out from Reapsy. Travis does seem to be looking on high, but it's just rotating here. Neymar rotating in between the builds right there. Does look for an opportunity of beam, and the only disadvantage is that the SMG spray from a distance isn't going to be looking too sexy on him, and he does need to rotate quite far into the zones right now. It does look like Rejects is also still alive in this position, still rotating right now. The heavy shotgun in play and needing to clutch up massively for the individual over here. 400 mats to his name right there, and it does look to be comfortably rotating. He can also utilize the glove swings if he needs to right now, but for now, E-Tech gets elimination in the kill feed right there, which is really amazing to see for Rejects right now. It's all about passive rotations. We go over to Lessix to see how things are looking like for him, and things are looking quite juicy as he rotates into a player's box. He 50-50s the situation, gets hit hard, but he clutches up in the midst of pressure, and Lessix now can just continue that rotation with 2 eliminations. And it does look like we are down to single player count as we are seeing 9 on the map right now. Does look like Lessix is going to go in for the play to use that CHOC, that 50 pot right now, which is amazing. Neymar is still alive in this position. Let's see exactly what that means for him and how things rotate. Only 1 build in his name right there, and that could be very, very tough. He needs to farm up. He needs to get awake right here and try get at least 20 to 50 more mats into his infantry, because that is going to definitely help him in terms of rotating even further. Players left, right, and center, and this zone is just going to the very end as it stands right now. It does look like he's going to rotate in between players' builds right there, and it may potentially find himself in a little bit of a pickle as players are above and aside of him. Neymar still alive, however, and staying quite comfortably. We'll go over to Reepsy to see how things look out for him, and Reepsy, which I believe has found himself being eliminated, unfortunately, very early here in the moving zones, as well as Lessix. So we go over to Rejects, but Rejects even more so has been eliminated. So we go over to Neymar to see how things are looking like and how things cook up right over here. And Neymar, being only the individual still alive in this one right now, he does tag the player for white. He wants to try and get as much mats as he can possibly. Moves back into a safe position, uses a CHOC splash, and he wanted to go for hype, but it's not open and available to him. Heals up just a bit. Still psychoing over here. Does manage to crack the player with the 40 damage on a striker pump. Cracks and eliminates him. Done and dusted, and that's how he wins height. And it's a 1v1 situation. Neymar, who had no builds to his name, rotated into the lips of pressure, goes in for the side pump. It doesn't matter. He misses that one, but he still absolutely beams the play and gets that Vic Roy for game number 1, and a couple eliminations as well to definitely carry him out in with a strong one. So 2 eliminations and a Vic Roy is definitely going to settle him in for a massive lead point. But that was game number 1. We still got game number 2. We don't want to waste too much time, as time has already been wasted. So we'll see you guys in game number 2. I've sent you code, right? Just let me know in text when you got it. and welcome back to the tournament game number 2. Now, we've had the game 1 done and wrapped. We saw Neymar with a Vic Roy, but let's see exactly what that puts him at in terms of points and etc. So, the solo CHOC Cup, you can see exactly over here. So, in first place is going to be Psycho pushing P. In the second is going to be Altus. In third is going to be Bravado Neymar. And then in fourth is going to be Ace. Fifth E-Take. 6th Dan LaRusso, 7th Flash, by the way, console player, 8th Washed Vapor Riley, 9th Lessix, and in 10th it's going to be Vix. So that's going to be your top 10 as it stands right now. And then you can even see Rejects and Reepsy as well as Pepper just knock outside of that one. Then over here, guys, we do got the prize pool. The prize pool being 4,000 Rand. 1,000 Rand for first place will go to the player. But the player will have an extra 1,000 Rand to donate to the CHOC Foundation. Second place, same thing. Third place, same thing. Just 700 and 300 Rand going into play. However, guys, the games have officially started. So let's go jump on board with Paul, because Paul seems to be having the most ecstatic off spawn that we have yet to see in the tournament. So let's go over there right now and see exactly what that's looking like. Again, we're having some issues with the volume, so we do apologize for that over there. Let's just make sure that never happens for you guys anymore. And there we go. So, game number 2, guys. I'm going to go jump on board with that one as it stands right now. And let's see exactly how things look out for the rest of the scene. So it seems that same ecstatic game number 1 is not happening here for Paul just yet. We saw him with 3 eliminations of spawn, but it doesn't look to be any contested whatsoever or even busy. So unfortunately for Adrian, who I spoke highly of, and you know, you may have saw me going to his POV and we thought he was dead. However, Adrian's PC unfortunately crashed, and that led to him not getting into the end game aspects of game number 1. So, let's see what game number 2 means for him. He's already had bad luck or not RNG on his side already. So, very, very curious to see how he can bring it back for game number 2. As it stands right now, Adrian's loadout is pretty decent, running the meta, but with the nerf coming into play, I don't know exactly how well the meta of rapid fire SMG and MK work together. So let's see exactly how he utilizes it going into the end games over here. Still 64 players of spawn, so some some of the players not finding their off-spawn opportunities to battle it out. And we do apologize for the number of players that we are finding in the games. Unfortunately, with the schedule of load shedding, a lot of these guys couldn't play further on into game number 2 and 3, as well as potentially number 4 as well. So if you guys are, joining us, and seeing some of these players compete, remember to get loud on social media, support them as much as you guys can, because it means the world to them knowing that there is somebody out there watching them competing in the tournaments over here. And it does look like we have Extinct in somewhat of a battle, so we're going to stay on board with Extinct to see exactly how things rotate out for him and escalate. So as it stands right now, he's not being too aggressive, nor is the opponent, but he does manage to deal somewhat of a damage, and he wants to get more involved over here. It does need to clear out the area around. The solo tournaments this season, I feel, have been a lot more better going into what's this? The chapter, because solos hasn't really been the ice of the Tipberg. In fact, it's been quite difficult in terms of some of these players competing and so forth. But it does look like here Extinct has a full box around the player, but they do manage to disengage from that. Guess the floor. Still has a decent amount of mats, and luckily for him, he hasn't gone into that build battle, so he hasn't used too much of it as well. Just healing up in these intense situations. And I think there was a big pot in behind. Yeah, there is a big pot. He finally sees that as well. So Extinct is going to get up to max HP. Let's just go and have a look at Paul to see if anything is cooking by him, if anything has happened just yet. And it doesn't look like Paul is finding himself in any of the situations we did see him in game number 1. But we'll just hover around these players just to see if there's maybe a potential fight happening around the area. So go over to Rejects as well. Rejects did have 1 kill of spawn, and it does look like Rejects is getting a bit of focus right here, but it doesn't look like he wants to actually take on any of the action as it looks like right now. Let's see exactly what happens right now. Stay on board with Rejects. Nice. Going into a build battle, nice tag up, but he also gets tagged. Carefully taking these shots over here. Players healing up comfortably as well, but nice 22 damage. Ooh. Peak not going in favor for Rejects just yet. Takes the time to heal up, and he doesn't have any much utilities in the back pocket. He's definitely losing this peak battle that is happening over here. Nice 88 crack, and he comfortably walks away with that elimination. Massive GG's here to Reject. So much pressure in on him, but he walks out with an epic W on that fight over there. I don't know if Extinct still finds himself in that situation, but let's go see exactly what happened over here with Extinct. Oh, it does look like he has been eliminated. So Extinct did lose the battle and will find himself full on eliminated. Lessix still rotating in and around the area, but it does look like he's going to be comfortably rotating into zone anytime soon. Oh, it does look like Lessix has the shaking bug on screen as well. And this is something that Psycho had on his screen. And although he had a massive pop-off game going for him right over there. So Adrian just rotating into zone. Guys, remember to have a peek at the description. So much information there for you regarding CHOC, regarding Punishers, as well as Elite Pro Series, and would appreciate your guys' support on the charity behind this, which is CHOC Foundation. So right now 53 players remain, which is a significant good number. You want to check out that ratio of players being eliminated plus players jumping into the battle bus. 69 players jumped into the lobby, 53 players remain. That is a massive competitive scene that we have on our hands coming up from these players right now. Reepsy, who arguably needs to make a best of comeback coming for him right now. Does look like his loadout is pretty decent as well. We'll go over to him in the endgame aspects to see exactly how that's looking like for him right now. But Lessix happily in a bush, and must be the most annoying experience having to deal with the shaking bug that is now in the update. Simponzol gets an elimination. Mikey seems to be eliminated as well over here in the kill feed. So definitely not the best of situations. Paul looking to try get a couple tags over here. Two players going for that launch pad. A player obviously focusing onto Paul, although Paul, no reason to find himself in a pickle. Does look like a good rotation coming off here from Rejects on the outskirts. He does need a bit of mat, so hopefully he finds that on rotation. Does get himself a Propo SMG and is happily going to be taking that one. He does also have the range of ammo to really use this one and go into the end game very, very hot. Not that much heals to work off with, so he needs to be cautious of how he works his play right there. Does look like Neymar is a lot more hot this game. 2 eliminations already, and we're just about to get into the next zone with 53 seconds remaining over there. Not that much mobility here for Neymar, though, I would say, guys. He does not have, you know, the chili chugs we did see him with. He doesn't have any spider gloves, which is quite famous for those rotations. Nothing for him going into endgame, so he may find himself in a little bit of a pickle. And let's see exactly what that looks like going in for the moving zones. He may get lucky, though. He may just get lucky. Reepsy, who needs to find himself rotating, will stay on board with the POV of Reepsy just to see how things cook off for the competitive player for Punishers Gaming, who had a good game one, but not the greatest, and very much disappointed. He's disappointed with himself with that performance, but with that hunger and thrive, Reapsy will definitely prove the odds, and he would do so well with it. He's going to choose to rotate, but unfortunately does find himself not in the best of rotation as it stands right here. Needs to box up and hopefully not get focused over here. A lot of people on his POV, on his area, just looking down on him and trying to get a couple tags. But it does look like he will get into the next zone comfortably. Adrian already in a perfect zone rotation, which is amazing to see. Let's see exactly how things work out for him. Ooh. Adrian down to 82 HP. Will sit comfortably, however, in zone. We'll go over to Lessix to see how things will work out for him. Do keep in mind he does have the shaking bug right now. And he does need to rotate in a bit. But we won't be watching Lessix too much this game due to that bug. Unfortunately, it may interrupt with a couple viewers' eyes. So we'd rather just respect that space. Neymar, who now needs to rotate quite far. And I believe that was Reapsy who used the launch pad. So Neymar are literally behind Reapsy right now. And comfortably in zone. And let's just have a look at Reapsy to see how things are looking like for him. And whether or not that was him. It wasn't Reapsy, it was another competitive player. Seven seconds until zone rotates, and Reapsy crossing fingers and toes that he does get into the zone, and he does. That is a great pull coming out from Reapsy over there. Let's see how the pull is for Neymar. Neymar needing to rotate just quite a tad bit, not too much, still in a comfortable position though. Adrian, who I believe found himself needing to rotate over here. Not that much heals going into endgame. He needs to be careful on how this rotation plays out. But it does look like he's happy with the way things are. He's going straight for water, however, and that's going to put him in a sticky situation. He needs to just box up right now in zone. Does so comfortably, but he's in the middle of everything and everyone, as well as in water. So things may be quite detrimental to him. rotating. Adrian looking to get some tags. No more ammo on the MK17 right now in the stands. He's definitely going to need to rely on his SMG, and only with one weapon at hand, he may find himself in a pickle. And when I say pickle, guys, it is so difficult to get out of these situations. You do need a secondary option, and I told you guys he needs to be careful on how he decides to rotate over here. He's used all his heals. He doesn't have anything to kill up, only 3 red chili peppers. So Adrian definitely going to need to rotate with a couple players in and around him. It's going to be very, very difficult. As it stands right now, we got Paul, who's needing to do a max pool rotation. We didn't get to see too much from him last time, so let's stay on board with him to see exactly how things play out for him right now. We've got a couple of the clans and organizations here today competing, so definitely bragging rights as well has opportunity to represent your organization. So let's see exactly what these couple of players can do. First zone rotation coming in from Paul. He immediately finds himself jumping onto a player, but unfortunately not able to even connect the heavy shotgun shot. Toasty with the elimination up there. He's gonna go in for the little bit of a box, but losing over 100 HP right now. He's definitely not happy with that sticky one over there, but he's gonna be healing up and getting himself back to 200 HP. Let's see what the victory royale winner is up to and how things are looking like for him. We saw him with not that much rotation at play, but he is now rotating in zone and following players' builds and so forth, trying to not use that much of his own and finding himself on the lowest lows of the zone right here. Does look like he's quite happy with how things are turning out, but I say that now and it gets tagged up for a massive amount of damage, but it gets this elimination onto I Eat Goat. So right there's a launch pad for him to utilize. He does need to get into zone. Will he get in? He does so comfortably and finds himself onto a good layer right there. So much to happen for him. But we go over to Reepsy, who arguably needs that redemption from game number 1. Will he be able to grab this game right here? And it does look like it is going to be happening with 3 eliminations on board. Guys, I said we stay on board with Reepsy to see how things play out with his next sort of rotations. Height here could potentially be shot out. So let's see exactly what that looks like. Going to be rotating, but it does get shot down. And now needing to use his mats. Right now, here in the end game, staying alive, he absolutely beams the top player on height. Looking for the opportunity of window to get that final tag or even elimination count. Using the spider glove to get ahead of zone. Boxes up comfortably. Still a decent amount of mats. Let's just go hover and spectate Nemo to see how things are looking out for him. Still on those 2 eliminations. Hasn't been successful with any more pickups right over here. Needs to box up. Focuses the next player. Cracks him down and dusted. But now, Nemo in a bit of a pickle with not that much to his name. Does find himself getting an elimination. As well has a siphon. And so many kills. Go over to Reepsy to see how things work out for him. 4 eliminations. 6 players remaining. It's definitely going to come down to a 1v1 situation between Reepsy and a victory royale. Let's see exactly how that looks like. Lucky for him, still has that mess spray to heal up to 150. Chops down height. Cracks the opponent right there. 4 players remaining. Waiting for the next window. Times that shot, but unfortunately it isn't going to work out for Reepsy over there. He needed that victory and it just didn't go in his favor right now, which is very unfortunate, but he did come 4th with 4 eliminations, so that is great for Reapsy. Definitely a redemption. There's still so much open window for him to pick up kills and get a victory royale in the next game. But look at Neymar right now. He's third right as it stands with 6 eliminations, no mats at hand, and he's trying to use the mess spray to get a sort of heal off right over here. He needs to make the next decision, and will it come in from him? Chops down the player, but it doesn't get anything from that. Goes all the way on low, cracks him, gets that elimination. It's now a 1v1 between him and another victory royale, but with only utilities and no mats in the back pocket. What can Neymar do in these positions? Will his movement be enough? It doesn't look like it will, as it does need to rely on aim. The player was on literally 1 HP, as we do see with a siphon. He's on 49 HP, chat. He would have been eliminated, but unfortunately, second place with 7 elimination comes in play for Neymar. Guys, what a spectacular performance coming out from Reapsy as well, as he does grab 4th place with a couple eliminations to his name, but it's going to be a lot more needed from Reapsy, guys, if he wants to find himself winning this tournament. And we need to see clutch plays like Neymar coming out over there, who had arguably no match, no rotation, but he worked his way to a 2nd place with 7 eliminations. Remember, guys, he got 5 kills in endgame. We're going to talk more about this going into the break. We'll be right back for game number 3. Neymar, can you... Jesus. queue right now. Alright, so 56 plus 5, 61 I think 62 we see, but if it doesn't, then start at yeah. So yeah, so I'll wait for 62 for the thing to create me now. So we just keep this for game number 3, and with the leaderboard, and things are looking quite saucy. So we saw a second place coming out from Neymar, but unfortunately did not win it. Got himself a couple eliminations. E-Take, who took out Reepsy, came third in that game over there, 123 points. Lessix, who won the game, is in third place. Psycho Pushing P is in fourth with 111. Rejects jumps from 13th to 5th. Reepsy in 6th place. The Cuff in 7th. The Viva in 8th. Altus in 9th. And Vapor Riley in 7th. Let's go jump on board, guys, with Adrian to see how things are looking like for him. And then we'll be jumping on board right over there. So already things are looking saucy with 63 players going into game number 3, and I can tell you these guys are looking forward to the next 2 games, because that's when things start to get interesting. There's only 2 games out of the 4, and I'd like to tell you guys that unfortunately we will not be able to broadcast game number 4 due to the fact that load shedding is a thing, and I'll be being disconnected from 8 o'clock. So enjoy this very last game coming out from Punishers. Remember to subscribe, leave a like, and turn on post notifications. And unfortunately, we have the likes of Adrian getting eliminated very early, which is so unfortunate for him over there. Let's see exactly what that means going into game number 4. But let's go over to winner less 6 to see exactly how things look like for him. Marty finds himself in a box fight situation right now and almost clutches up, but unfortunately he's gonna get eliminated, and that is gonna be absolutely GG's. I wonder who he got eliminated to, because that player was absolute one shot, but he somehow survives the scene. GG's to Marcy as he couldn't survive that one. So Rejects is softly rotating into the next zone right now. 46 players remain as it stands, and the first two games have been quite hectic. We've seen some amazing clutches coming out from Neymar. We've seen some amazing rotations coming out from Reepsy. We've seen Reepsy being beamed by E-Take, even though he had planned a great elimination, if that makes sense. Like, Reepsy planned for that movement, but unfortunately E-Take just had the beam onto Reepsy, and Reepsy had fallen short in 4th place position. I would have expected, and you guys heard me call it out, you know, a 1v1 situation for the Vicroy. I really believe he should have won that game, or even come close to winning it. Maybe a 1v1 against Name or whatever, but the case may be. But you can't take recognition out from Lessig's game, because Lessig did extremely well as well. You know, he found himself getting into a great position and winning that entire game. His beams, everything worked out quite comfortably. And keep in mind, guys, that he did have the shake bug on screen as well. So he played at a major disadvantage, and yeah, he somehow still won the game, and he won the game with only 2 eliminations. Just definitely need to keep up the consistency if he wants to find himself in the top 3. Psycho, who's 4th right now, only came 14th place with 1 kill, which is very, very unfortunate, because he was 1st after game 1, but he finds himself 4th. Oh, amazing beam coming out from Rejects POV right over there. Let's see how things turn out for him and whether or not he goes in for the full key. Does not look like he wants to full commit, so he's just going to comfortably stay in the distance. Comfortably boxing up right now. Go over to Neymar. And Neymar's sitting quite good, but we'll just go over to Lessig in the meantime as well. Lessig in a beautiful bush. The strat's really paying off to him. Go and watch Paul and see exactly how things are playing out. Paul in a bit of a crazy focus, but he manages to survive either way, which is a great thing to see coming out from him. Paul looking to focus another one, does deal the damage for 42. Needs to just rotate a little bit in to be in a great position. Thirty-eight plays remaining. Not that much mats or hard mats on him right now. Getting full ramped over here. Does extend out. But it does look like maybe he might be engaged in battle over here. Let's see exactly. Rotating, 32 players remaining. It does have a distance between him and the next zone. 220 mats on his body right now, 120 brick. It does look quite comfortable. Not to say it is going to get him to the very end game. He's going to need a number of rotations to help him through this one. He does always find himself getting targeted, however, and that puts a huge strain on his back because he's using a lot of his utilities and mats to stay alive in these situations. Lessix, who's done some amazing rotations, he's still alive in here, guys, and he will look to be going to the very part of the end game soon. So let's see exactly how things look out. spider glove and onto launch pad as we see Lessix go so high into the next zone right now. Does look very comfortable with the rotations they play. Needs to be careful on how he rotates though, as he almost shared a single box with him over there. $22 damage. Lucid with the double eliminations in the kill feed. Reapsy with a kill. Let's go check what Reapsy's up to right now to see how things are playing out for him. It does look like he remains on height over here, which is an amazing scene you want to see. This is definitely worthy of Victory Royale, but let's see exactly what happens right now. Ooh, Vix cannot handle that heat on rotation, and it's gonna get fully eliminated over there. Right now, looking very great for Reapsy. 9 plays remaining, 5 kills as it stands right now. Looking to potentially pick up his 4th, 6th as it stands, and that is Toasty with no reaction whatsoever. Unfortunately, just couldn't be in a good position to reacting time for that elimination from Reapsy. But Reapsy has been going AWOL game number 3, and it does look like he's going to go in with all the action. So let's see exactly how this plays out for him. Lost a lot of damage over there, and it's going to get pumped to Flash. Unfortunately, that was not expected coming out from Reapsy. Unfortunately, no mat count. He found himself in a bit of a sticky one, and you can just see Flash, a console player, unfortunately jumping head in. Tyler now in the end game, taking out Flash. But that was a really good game from Reapsy. Just always finds himself in a bit of a pickle. Tyler with literally such little HP now going over to a person on height, which we're not entirely sure who is alive right now. It does look like the individuals that are live streaming is not in a position of endgame as it stands, but 3 players remain, and he picks up the next one. I'm not entirely sure who this competitive player is, but whoever it is, definitely running away with so much points, and he tries to go for the striker pump, but gets rejected in the sky. Wait, does he kill him? Wait, I'm so confused. Huh? That was a tricky one coming out for me. I have no idea who won that game over there. But, guys, we go over to the end of the stream, unfortunately, as we do gotta say goodbye to everyone due to load shedding. And unfortunately, I do apologize for my Game 3 commentary and my attention to the stream. Unfortunately, I'm dealing with a lot of background work with the competitive players. But, guys, remember, donate to the CHOC Foundation. Hit subscribe. Check the description for more information on tournaments like these. Check the description for this charity link to donate to times like these when we need to give back. And it's February, the month of giving. So, yeah, see you guys in a bit.